When a client comes to see me for the first time, I never know anything other than their first name. In fact, it makes it harder for me if I know any other information. I don't want to second guess. I just want to let it come from spirit.
Our two sons, Dalen and Logan, were killed in a car crash. And after losing them, I just knew that I needed to connect with them if there was any way that I was going to be able to survive this. For me, I've always had a belief in the spiritual world, and I know my boys are on the other side waiting for me, and I just needed to have some kind of verification that that was true.
Sometimes I see spirit, sometimes I feel spirit, sometimes I'll smell them or I'll hear them. I never know how a spirit's going to present themselves to me. I leave it up to them. That's their job. My job is just to be able to pick up on what it is that they're trying to give me so that I can give those loving, healing messages to my clients who so desperately are needing to hear these things.
She talked about our family rings that all 7 of us have, myself, my husband, and the 5 kids, and she brought up that the rings were engraved. This is something that very few people knew about. We did it for our family. It was something we kept in our family. We didn't talk about to too many people. So the fact that she knew about these rings, that they had significance and that they were engraved, was something that really, for me, hit home, that she had to know something because nobody really knew that they were engraved.
We got into our reading. Me being a huge skeptic, I was kind of questioning everything. One of the first things she says to me is that your grandfather is standing behind you. Instantly, I'm like, that's a pretty likely thing to say. You know, a grandfather has passed. It could be from anywhere. So I'm like, yeah, okay. And then the next words that she said was, he says that he understands why you didn't go to his funeral. And I was the only person in my family who didn't go to his funeral, and there's no way that anybody could have known that.
Yeah, I was somewhat skeptical in a sense because there were so many mediums out there that claim they're mediums and don't have a clue. They just throw things out there and hoping that it's hit and miss.
I didn't think that someone actually could talk to people on the other side. I didn't believe it.
I would recommend Carmel to anyone I know and everyone I know because she is the bomb.
I love reading for skeptics. Those are the people who are going to change the most. They come in, they have no idea that this is really something that exists. When a spirit gives me something that there's no way that I could have known, and I give that to my client, I've changed their lives and allowed them to understand that their loved ones are with them all the time. And that's what it's all about. Spirits talk about, you know, the trucks they used to drive and the places used to go and the rings and the jewelry and all the little special intimate moments. But the biggest message is, I love you, I miss you, and I'm with you all the time.
During my reading with Carmel, my dad came through right away. She explained how he died to me, which was a great verification. I was skeptical going in.
One thing that she said is that my grandfather used to pick up my mom and put her on the counter, and he used to sing to her. And I'd never heard this story before. So immediately after I left Carmel's, I called my mom, told her to meet me at Grandma's. I'm like still crying. I like cried through the whole thing. I get there and I told my mom this thing that Carmel told me, and my mom instantly starts bawling. And she says, as a child, that's one of her greatest memories, is that he used to pick her up, put her on the kitchen counter, and they would sing the theme song to Popeye, which was my mom's favorite show.
Carmel definitely is the real deal because she was able to show us not only things she knew, but she showed it to us in a way that showed us our boys' personalities. She was able to hit it on the head and tell us in a way that we knew was coming from the boys.
When I sit down with a client, it's like you've brought me into your house and introduced me to your family. There's no bigger gift for me. When I'm reading for clients, I feel like I'm getting introduced to them and their family and their loved ones. I feel honored, I feel very special, and I also feel like I'm able to be here and do what it is that I do best.
Oh, Carmel is no doubt the real deal. The things that she came up with that nobody would know is just Just mind-blowing. She had stated at one time about my hunting trip, and there's a certain spot where my son Dalen and I got stuck. She knew I was there, and she told me that he also was there. And we walked back to camp 10 kilometers that night. And this year I did that walk. And she knew it. She knew I did that walk, and she also said that Dalen was there with me doing that walk again. Nobody could have known that.
He was a clean freak, but not his room. Everything else was clean. And for her to actually know that there was food down there, because the day that he passed away, there was food and everything down there. She described his room to a T. And it's okay. The only person that would know that would be him and me, because I was the only one that went down there after it all. But just the things that she threw out there was just shocking. Yeah, there's no way she could have known. Even if she knew my friends, they didn't know that.
It was the most amazing thing I've ever experienced. I mean, you go and get your cards read when you're a kid and you have fun and you get your teacup read. This is way past anything like that. Way past it. It's amazing.
When I came into the reading with Carmel, I was a big skeptic. And when I left, I'm a big time believer. I tell people about her. It's just unbelievable.
Women's Empowerment Group is an amazing group of women. All different kinds of people, different personalities, but it's women coming together to help women. And Carmel's insight into that is comforting. It's amazing. It helps us to be grateful every day.
You know, I'm just a normal, everyday, average, ordinary mom who happens to be able to talk to the dead.